This bus stop is where Alisa Goods' family believes the 63-year-old was last seen.
I am hoping to God for the best, but my heart can't take what it could be, which is the worst. We want her home. We want her back.
I lost my breath. It took my breath away. I couldn't breathe.
Our hearts are broken. We were notified that my aunt was found, unfortunately, not the way we wanted her to be. This is an unimaginable time. Words cannot describe the pain our family is experiencing right now. So this is a piece of the statement from the family. They also said, I have it here in front of me in full. We're still trying to learn the details surrounding her death. We ask for continued prayers and privacy as we grieve.
Alisa Goods was a grandmother, 63 years old. She went out to Las Vegas the way she always did to visit a friend she'd known for years. That's the whole plan. Visit her friend, run a few errands, fly on back home to New York. Then she disappeared. Now here's where it turns, y'all. While her family was out there searching, calling every hospital, every jail, every morgue in that city, somebody started texting from her phone, asking for money. And baby, I need you to sit with how bad this next part is, because it's almost impressive. Their opening move, their very first ask, was gas money for a car Alisa Goods does not own, never has, doesn't drive, hasn't driven in years. Chilly if you're gonna steal a grandmother's identity. The bare minimum, the floor is you learn one single fact about her life first. This person didn't clear that bar, didn't even attempt it. We are getting into all of it today, who she really was, what that scam was really about, and the one question nobody official has answered yet. What actually happened to Alisa Goods? And that's the reason this video exists.
We're looking at some of those text messages, which were given to us by the family, and essentially it's an attempt to get money.
Now let's talk about who Alisa Goods actually was, because I need y'all to sit with this before we go one step further. 63 years old, a grandmother of 5, and here's the detail that got me when I first found it. Every single day, no matter what was going on in her life, she called her 85-year-old mother on the phone. Not most days, not when she remembered. Every day. Chilly. Do you know how rare that is? Half of us can't commit to watering a houseplant on a schedule, and this woman kept up a daily phone call to her mama for years. That's not a small habit. That's a whole relationship maintained on purpose, one phone call at a time for decades. And this was not her first rodeo out in Las Vegas either. This was her second trip out there. Just this year alone, she had a friend she had known for years. And this was a visit she had made more than once. So by the time she landed this time, she already knew the area, already knew the bus routes, already knew exactly how this particular trip was supposed to go, because she had done the whole thing before successfully without incident. Meanwhile, some of us go to Las Vegas one time and still can't find our way back to the hotel. This woman had it down to a science. She was not wandering into anywhere unfamiliar. She was a regular. And can we talk about how people love to underestimate a grandmother? Like 63 automatically means fragile, means helpless, means somebody who needs assistance crossing the street. Alisa Goods was out here flying cross-country solo, navigating a whole city's public transit system by herself, running her own errands. Nobody was holding this woman's hand. She did not need it. And that right there is what makes this whole thing so hard to sit with, because Alisa Goods was not reckless. She was not careless. She was not some out-of-towner who didn't know what she was doing. She was a woman with routines, a woman who had done this exact trip before and come home just fine every time, a woman with people who loved her, and a mother she called him every single day like clockwork, rain or shine, no excuses. The kind of woman who did everything right, who had done this exact thing right before, more than once, and it still was not enough to bring her home safe this time. Lord, rest her. We are going to need a minute with that one before we keep going. So let's set the scene properly. Alisa flew out to visit a friend, a man she had known for years, somebody she trusted enough to stay with more than once. This was not a stranger. This was not some situation she stumbled into. This was an old friend in an apartment not far from the Strip, and by his own account, she was in good spirits that whole visit.
August 8th, so now 12 days ago, she boarded a bus and went to a nearby CVS.
On the afternoon of August 8th, she told him she was headed out. Just a quick errand. A bus ride over to the CVS to grab a couple of things. Nothing dramatic, nothing that should have made anybody nervous. He watched her walk down those stairs and out the door like it was any other Tuesday afternoon. Now, y'all already know how this works. In every single one of these stories, there is always a moment right before everything changes that looks completely, boringly normal. A woman running a quick errand, a friend going about his own day. Nobody circles this moment in red ink while it is happening. Nobody could have. That is what makes it so quiet and so cruel looking back at it now. And for a while, that is exactly how it looked. Just an ordinary errand on an ordinary afternoon until it was not. All right, real quick before we go there, if this is your first time sitting with us, welcome. Pull up a chair. We tell these stories slow and we tell them true. So if that is your kind of thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we have got a whole community of people right here in the comments who feel exactly the way you do about a case like this one. Now, let us get into what actually happened. On August 8th, Alisa left Roger's apartment in the early afternoon. She boarded a bus. She rode it to a CVS near Paradise and Harmon to pick up a few things, including some iron pills. Store employees confirmed she was there that day.
I did not see the CVS footage myself, but I was privy to some of the footage by talking to the CVS manager that she was there.
After that, nothing. She did not return to the apartment that evening. She did not make her flight home to New York. Roger called her, texted her, got nothing back. By nightfall, he tried to file a missing persons report. The front desk was closed for the night. He went back the next morning, August 10th, and filed it then, 2 days. That is how long it took between her disappearing and a report existing anywhere on paper.
Well, according to the family, there was a couple days of lag before she was officially reported missing. This friend that I mentioned that she's staying with did reach out to the family within a few hours and said, hey, I'm worried. I haven't heard from her. But he wasn't able to file a missing persons report until the 10th.
Her family started making their own calls not long after. Hospitals first, then jails. Then, because nobody wants to say this part out loud, the coroner's office. Nothing came back. No record of her anywhere in the system. That CVS on a Tuesday afternoon, picking up iron pills, is the last confirmed sighting of Alisa Goods. And that is exactly when things got strange. Now, 4 days after she disappeared, the text started. We already told you about the gas money. Baby, that was just the opening act. Let's get into the rest of it, because it does not get less ridiculous from here. Her niece, Alana, was not about to just take a stranger's word for anything. So she set a little trap. Texted back using a fake name. Kelly. Now, there is no Kelly in this family. Never has been. If that was really Alisa on the other end, the very first thing she does is say, wait, who is Kelly? Instead, nothing. Not one question. Whoever was on that phone just kept right on going like Kelly was somebody real. That right there told Alana everything she needed to know. So Alana decided to test them a different way. She asked for a video call. Simple request. If this is really your aunt, prove it. Let's see her face. Watch how that goes.
They're now also getting text messages and calls from somebody to ask her for Bitcoin. And that started maybe about 4 days after she went missing. This is Alisa. I'm home. When are you going to send the money? Oh, I'm at the gas station. I need money for gas. She doesn't have a driver's license. She's not driving in Vegas. She doesn't have a rental car. What are they asking for money for?
Chile. Now that right there is the oldest trick in the book, and it did not work. Nobody sent a dime. But here's the part that stopped being funny real fast. Alisa's son got an actual phone call, not a text, a call. Somebody on the other end claiming to be his mother.
Then came a mysterious call to Goods' son. They say he recorded part of that conversation.
You're talking to Alisa.
The caller claiming to be Alisa.
I'm going to send the money now.
The family says that's clearly not Goods' voice.
Yeah, my phone is bad. I'm going to call you as soon as I get my phone.
He asked her where she was. One word back, home. And the second he pushed for an address, the line went dead. He recorded part of that call. And by every account from the people who heard it, that voice on the other end did not belong to his mother, not even close. Now, I don't have that recording for you to hear, but I do know what he told reporters right after, and I need you to sit with this for a second because it is about as raw as it gets. He said, and I'm quoting him directly here, "Just get my mother back. I don't know what y'all got going on, but this ain't it. That's it." That's the whole sentiment right there. A grown man reduced to negotiating with a stranger wearing his mother's phone number like a costume. And through all of it, Gas Money Kelly, the fake phone call, one thing never changed. Whoever was running that operation never once slowed down to ask themselves if they had the right information. They didn't. Not about the car she doesn't own. Not about the family members who would know her voice. Not one single detail. They were just moving fast and hoping nobody was paying attention. Somebody was paying attention the whole time.
The rise in these Bitcoin scams are absolutely rampant. And it's happening every single day. People are getting messages that, and some of them are blackmail and ransom messages saying, "Hey, I have information about you. If you don't do X, Y, Z, I'm going to release that information. Or I have your loved one. If you don't do X, Y, Z, if you don't send me Bitcoin or crypto to this account, something bad's going to happen." These are scam messages. There's professional networks overseas operating they're actively targeting people, actively targeting American citizens. So if you get a message like that, if you get anybody asking you for crypto, do not send it. Do not send it. If you're involved in any sort of investment scheme and you're getting messages for that, if it's involved in crypto, do your due diligence on that, because most likely it is a scam. Unfortunately, most of these opportunities are scams. So do your diligence on that. And again, we see it almost on a weekly basis. Where people are getting sometimes their entire life savings emptied because they think that either it's an investment opportunity or because they think that in fact that they have to make that payment in order to avoid a blackmail or kidnapping scenario. So do not send that. Contact your law enforcement authority. IC3.gov is another resource where you can report those crimes, which is the federal reporting system, and do not send that money.
And again, it's important to note because the family has said she doesn't necessarily use Bitcoin, so that's unlike her. She also doesn't drive, and she's asking for gas money. So again,
that's not
a lot of questions. Yeah, that's a red flag right there, several of them.
Now let's talk about what her family was actually dealing with while all of this scamming was going on, because the texts were not the only frustrating part of this story. 12 days. That is how long Alisa Goods was missing. And for a real stretch of that time, her own family says they were told directly that she was not a priority.
We were told it wasn't a priority because she didn't have any mental disabilities and she wasn't structurally having any type of dementia or anything like that.
Not by a stranger on the internet, by a detective now. Let's sit with that for a second, because there's a detail here that makes it worse. Alisa had recently had leg surgery. Walking long distances was hard for her. Her own daughter said it outright. It's extremely hot there, so it's hot, and she can't walk. A 63-year-old woman, limited mobility, missing in Las Vegas heat that hit 113 degrees the day she vanished. If there was ever a case that should have been treated as urgent from the first phone call, this was it. The family did not sit back and wait on anybody. They called hospitals themselves, jails themselves, the coroner's office themselves. They did the legwork that, by their own account, they felt should not have fallen entirely on them. 12 days, and the family says nobody in an official capacity treated this like the emergency it was. And then 12 days in, everything changed. 12 days after that CVS run, in the early hours of the morning, officers were called to a drainage ditch near Wayne Newton Boulevard, right by Terminal 1 at Harry Reid International Airport, less than 2 miles from where she was last seen alive. They found a woman there, already gone.
I'm Taya Kirkland at the First Alert Update Desk. Just into our newsroom, Metro Police are releasing new details after a woman was found dead near Harry Reid Airport. Officers were called out yesterday to a drainage ditch near the area of Wayne Newton Boulevard and the Terminal 1 parking garage. They found a woman there who was already dead.
Investigators pulled surveillance footage from the airport area, and it showed something that matches the exact day she vanished. August 8th. The footage shows a woman falling down an embankment, getting back up, walking a little further, and then collapsing again. Police say there was no movement after that, and her location could not be seen from the street, which is the only reason it took 12 days for anybody to find her. That close to one of the busiest airports in the country, in a city that is famous for having a camera on every single corner. The Clark County Coroner's Office confirmed it later that day. 63 years old, Alisa Goods. 12 days of searching, 12 days of scam texts, 12 days of a family refusing to give up. All of it ended in a drainage ditch 2 miles from a CVS pharmacy. Now, her family had already told anyone who would listen that she'd had recent leg surgery, that the heat out there could take her down fast, that this was a woman who should never have been walking that far on her own to begin with. Turns out they were right to worry. They just did not know yet exactly how right. 113 degrees that day. A woman who was already struggling to walk short distances, apparently going down an embankment on foot alone, with nobody around to help her back up the second time. Here's where I need you to really pay attention, because we are about to lay two facts side by side, and I need you to notice what does not line up. Fact number 1, surveillance shows her falling and not getting back up on August 8th. Fact number 2, the scam text, the fake phone call, all of it that kept coming from her phone for days afterward. Sit with that. Because as of right now, nobody official has explained how those two facts are supposed to fit together. So, what really happened to Alisa Goods? Here's the honest answer. And I'm not going to dress it up for you, because that is not how we do things around here. Nobody knows yet, not officially. Police have not released a cause of death. Nobody has been named a suspect. The family reached out to Las Vegas Metro and to the coroner's office, and as of right now, they are still waiting to hear back on the details surrounding how she actually died. But here is what we do know, and it is enough to sit with. We know she fell on camera on the same day she disappeared. We know somebody had access to her phone well after that, long enough to ask her own son for money. Long enough for him to hear a stranger's voice claiming to be his mother. And we know that somewhere between a CVS parking lot and a drainage ditch 2 miles away, 12 days passed, and not one single person, official or otherwise, can tell this family exactly where she was during any of it. One local station actually put it best.
questions remain about what happened after she left this CVS, how she ended up at the airport, and how she died.
2 separate questions. Nobody's answered either one yet. Even the small stuff about this case does not sit still long enough to nail down. How long had she known her friend out there, the one she was staying with? Some reports say 20 years. He himself told one station it was closer to 9. Now, that is a small detail in the grand scheme of things, I know. But when even the basic facts of a story keep shifting depending on who you ask, that tells you something about how fast and how messy this whole thing has moved. Now, I've seen a few theories floating around, and baby, some of them are a whole production. Heat stroke, a robbery gone sideways, somebody swore up and down, she got turned around and confused from the heat and just kept walking in the wrong direction for 2 miles straight. Look, half the internet had this case solved before the coroner even got involved. And any one of those theories could turn out to be part of what actually happened. Yeah, this case is still open. We are not here today claiming to have cracked it for you. What we are saying is this: the timeline as it stands right now does not fully add up. And a family is out here grieving without an explanation, while whoever answered her phone for 4 straight days has never once had to explain a single thing either. No knock on the door, no consequence. Nothing. They just went quiet when the money stopped coming, and that was that. And can we talk for just a second about how quickly this whole thing got buried under other headlines? A grandmother is found dead under genuinely strange circumstances, and within a day, the news cycle had already moved on to the next thing. Meanwhile, this family is sitting there with more questions than they started with, still waiting on a phone call from a coroner's office that has not called back. That is not a them problem. That is a system that treats a missing 63-year-old grandmother like a box to check, not a person to find. That right there is the real story, not a clean answer. A woman who is gone, and a whole list of questions that deserve a whole lot better than silence. All right, before we close this one out, if you have made it this far with us, go ahead and drop a comment telling us what you think really happened. We read every single one, and honestly, some of y'all have theories that keep us up at night too. Hit that like button on your way out. It genuinely helps more than you would think, and it does not cost you a thing. But before we go, let's not leave her in the mystery. That is not where she belongs. Alisa Goods called her mother every single day. That is where we started this story, and that is where we are going to end it too, because it is the truest thing anybody told us about who she was. Not the scam, not the questions, not the airport or the drainage ditch or any of it. That daily phone call kept up for years without fail, rain or shine, no excuses. Her friend out in Las Vegas, the one she had known for however many years exactly, said it's simple and plain when reporters asked him about her. She's the nicest person you would meet, not the nicest person he had met that year. The nicest person you would meet, period. No competition. And you know, it is easy for people to say nice things about somebody after the fact. Everybody's a saint in a headline. But everything we found about this woman, every single account from the people who actually knew her, said the exact same thing in their own words. Warm, reliable, somebody who showed up for everybody every single time. And her family, in their own words, on their fundraiser page said this: "Our mother was deeply loved, and her absence leaves a space in our family that can never be filled."
Our mother was deeply loved, and her absence leaves a space in our family that can never be filled. We are doing our best to navigate this loss together and to celebrate the life she lived, the people she loved, and the memories she left with us.
Lord, rest her. 63 years old, a grandmother of 5, a daily phone call to her mother that never once got skipped for years until it did. That is who Alisa Goods was. And whatever the coroner's report ends up saying, whoever eventually has to answer for that phone, none of it gets to be the last word on her life. She was loved on purpose every single day, right up until the day she wasn't able to call home anymore. We will keep watching this one. If anything changes, if that autopsy comes back with real answers, if anybody ever gets held accountable for that phone, we will be right here to bring it to you. That's a promise, not just something we say. Until then, rest easy, Alisa. We see you, and we are not done paying attention.